Hey there, fathers, sons, men and boys. Today we're in Proverbs chapter 5, and I got to tell a story about this before we get into this chapter, and we read it together in our family devotionals. Years ago, we took a road trip with our family, and I have a son and a daughter and a wife, and we said, let's read Proverbs together on this road trip, starting with the youngest to the oldest. So my son AJ started, and he read Proverbs chapter 1, he did a great job. And then the daughter read Proverbs 2, and my wife read Proverbs 3. And then I read Proverbs 4, and it was my son's turn once again to read Proverbs chapter 5. So keep that in mind. My son was about 7 years old when he read this proverb, which is all about avoiding immoral women. Probably not something at the top of mind of a 7-year-old boy. But look at what it says in verse 15. It says, drink water from your own well. Share your love only with your wife. Why spill the water of your springs in the streets, having sex with just anyone? You should reserve it for yourselves. Never share it with strangers. Needless to say, this is when we stopped reading Proverbs on our road trip, because it gets even a little bit more PG-13 as you continue to read this passage. But here's my point for today. As you read this in your men's group, or fathers, as you read this with your sons, guys, I know that it's awkward sometimes for us to talk about sex and sexuality with our kids. But men, dads, if you don't talk about it with your sons, then their friends are going to talk about it with them. It's much better for you to go through Proverbs like this and do just what the father is doing for his son almost 3,000 years ago, where he's talking about sexuality and he's warning his son about the wayward woman, about an immoral woman. If it was valuable and important for fathers and sons to talk about this almost 3,000 years ago, how much more valuable is it for us to talk about it with our sons in this hypersexual culture? So read this passage together, fathers and sons, or in your men's group, and then be willing to have an honest conversation about lust and sexuality and everything that you encounter here in Proverbs chapter 5.